Good afternoon. Welcome to my presentation on BTEC Engineering at Level 2 and 3 at Eastbourne campus, East Sussex College. My name is Mandy Connor. I'm the Head of Curriculum for our engineering courses on the Eastbourne campus. So what is engineering? It's the application of science and maths to find the solution of identified needs or problems, innovative thinking in design and manufacture, with a mix of theoretical knowledge and skills. There are many branches of engineering that you can go into, and listed here are just some of them. So there's aeronautical, automotive, chemical, civil engineering, computer, electrical, electronic. It is absolutely huge. So this offers you kind of the starting building blocks for where you want to go in your future. So think of some of the possibilities. So here is just an idea of some of the things that you could be doing as an engineer. Britain urgently needs qualified engineers. Although much manufacturing is now done overseas, Britain is still very much at the forefront of design in the engineering world. Female applicants are particularly welcome. It's still viewed as a very male-dominated career to get into, so we are always trying to encourage girls to come in and join our courses. And over the last few years, we have had a lot of females that have joined us. So the General Engineering Pathway is a recently developed suite of qualifications designed in conjunction with industry to provide the multi-skill ability that is increasingly sought after by employers in the engineering sector. So we will help to develop those knowledge, skills and behaviours that you will require to go and work in engineering. So some of the skills and knowledge to be gained: safe and correct use of appropriate tooling techniques, safe and correct use of tools, equipment and methods of producing electronic circuits, correct use of maintenance procedures, and the use of industry standard CAD and ECAD software to produce 2D and 3D design solution models. The knowledge required and will be delivered to you within your learning are very complex mathematical methods and techniques to help solve problems, reading and interpretation of technical drawings and data, the properties, uses and selection of appropriate materials and engineering for the appropriate processes and toolings, and also some work on electronic circuits to fulfill specific purposes. So as I said before, meeting the engineering team, I'm the Head of Curriculum for Engineering and I work very closely with the team that I have in place at the moment. So at the moment I've got Mike and Mosen that will be supporting you within your teaching, and they've got a wealth of experience within engineering. So the course requirements for Level 2 are 4 GCSEs at grade 4 or above, including maths, English language, and 1 or more science or engineering subjects. So what you'll study at Level 2 are 2 full-size and 8 half-size units. You will have 2 external assessments and the rest are internally set and marked. This is a list of some of the units that you will study. So I will give you a couple of seconds to just have a little read through there. But this is not an exhaustive list. We can change, apart from the mandatory ones, we can change any of the other elements to suit. The course requirements for Level 3 are GCSE Maths at grade 6 or above, and 4 other GCSEs at grade 4 or above, including English language and 1 or more science or engineering subjects, or successful completion of your Level 2 extended certificate with Maths and English alongside. So at Level 3, you will study the same units, but they are different topics with 2 external assessments, and again the rest are internally assessed. So some of the topics you will study include engineering principles, the delivery of engineering processes safely as a team, engineering product design and manufacturer, commercial and quality principles, welding, electronics and fabrication. To progress into year 2, which is the hope that all our learners will do on level 3, is to successfully complete year 1 of your course, and then you can progress into year 2. So I've just flipped through those little ones because you don't need to know about year 2 until we get there. So how you will study, your lessons normally take place on 3 days of the week. Timetables are still being finalised at the moment. Lessons don't start before 9 AM and they don't finish after 4:30 usually. And you will have breaks in between. Holidays are not permitted during term time. I like that Mike managed to get that one in there because a lot of students book holidays. And the size of the engineering course is so big, if you miss a couple of days, you actually miss out on quite a lot of your study. So you'll be expected to arrive punctually, be ready for learning, mobile phones switched off, and not to wear earphones or headphones during lessons. This is particularly important in the workshop because obviously it is a high risk area. You'll be expected to carry out research in your own time. You may also sometimes be given homework tasks. So maths-based assignments will generally be completed in class under an open book exam condition, so you will have the book there. Some assignments will contain a practical element to be completed in the mechanical or electronics workshop, and then a supplementary question based around this work, which may be allowed some classroom time, as the practical work will generally be staggered. It's usually we have quite a lot of students that all want to do engineering, so we have to make sure that we've got the workshop space so everybody can work safely. Other assignments will be entirely theory-based. They will address a mix of pass, merit and distinction criteria, and you must meet all the submission dates. This one we will talk a little bit more about when you start, but needless to say, everything in your assignments needs to be your work, not copy and pasted from the internet. Tuition is free as long as you are under 19. What we do ask you to buy are a pair of safety boots because you won't be allowed in the workshop without them. And we also encourage you to buy a set of overalls, which you can do when you actually start with us. So the mechanical workshop is fully equipped with a comprehensive range of hand and air tools, 2 large communal workbenches, sheet metal cutting and folding equipment, machine tools, and a separate welding bay so you can try different types of welding. In our electronics workshop, we've got soldering stations, testing equipment, a range of components. We've got Arduino microcontroller boards and a range of input and output devices. And we have computers with the software we need to be able to work these as well. We also have 3D printers, laser cutters, additional electronic testing and equipment. So there's lots and lots of new things to try with us. I'm just flicking through Mike's quotes. So after your course, after level 2, you can progress to level 3, an apprenticeship or employment. And from level 3, you could go to a specialist area of employment for further training. What we have put on here is entry to the Armed Forces Engineering, because a lot of our learners now at level 2 are progressing into the Armed Forces. So what is unique about our course? We could tell you about the dedication of our staff, state-of-the-art facilities. However, although we come under the heading of vocational, we're probably better described as an academic course, because there is a lot of work, there are a lot of assignments within this course, but it means that it helps you to access further higher education once you leave and choose an engineering degree to study next. So famous names from engineering. So just have a little look. I'm sure you will recognise some there. We've got Elon Musk there, James Watt, Neil Armstrong, Thomas Telford. So you one day could be one of these names on a PowerPoint further down the line. So finally, we hope you've found something in this presentation to inspire you, and look forward to meeting you when you apply to join one of our engineering courses. I am open for a question and answer session now following this presentation. Thank you for watching. I know it was a little bit stunted in places, but I've just come straight from a construction one, so I'm kind of forgetting how to talk at the moment, but we really do welcome all of you to come and have a look and come and join one of our courses. So please, any questions that you've got, please type them to us now and we will do our best to answer them for you. So the college day, there's usually 4 lessons a day. So you will start at 9 o'clock in the morning and we usually finish by 4:30. But timetabling is finalised a little bit later on. For those of you that missed the very beginning of this because you were having Zoom issues, this has been recorded live and will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel, which if you search YouTube for I think it's We Are ESCG. We are hoping to be open in September, yeah. So at the moment, we are following all the government guidelines in respects to COVID-19, and we are hoping to be open as usual in September. There may be a slightly different way of doing some of the delivery, so there may well be kind of like a 50-50 delivery. So we might have the morning, half the group in and the other half are learning from home, and then vice versa. So we're still maintaining some of that social distancing just to keep everybody safe. Thank you. Yeah, it will be published later. It won't be less than 3 days a week. So at the moment, our full-time courses are about 3 to 4 days. It depends how the timetable works. So for a level 3 course, you're looking at probably 4 days a week. And at level 2, it's 3. But again, it depends also on maths and English requirements. So do you need math and or English? And then we can fit it in that way. So within engineering, all students are encouraged to do some work experience. And the recommendation is that all learners will do approximately 30 hours a year. So what we tend to do is we have tutor sessions with our students and we will look at engineering places that they might know. And then we can have a look at the best possible route for work experience. Sorry, I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. It's never a good thing on a Monday afternoon. So if you don't have 4 in maths and English, so unfortunately, if you don't meet the entry requirements for the engineering courses, we will have to look at putting you onto another course. So sometimes what tends to happen is our learners across the trades, so construction, motor vehicle, engineering, they may well do a level 2 course, but if they don't then meet the requirements to progress to the next level, they often do a side step into a different trade and then carry on with that maths and English and then come back. So it's happening this year with a couple of my electricians. So they were engineers last year. They've come back to do electrical this year, and then moving on, they'll go back to engineering because it supports that maths and English requirement. So yeah, as I said earlier, you may well have missed it. We are hoping to get students out for up to 30 hours a week. So it will either be done as a block placement or it may well be over a number of weeks. What we'd like to do, and if anybody knows anybody or who's got any fantastic engineering ideas, is we'd actually like to do some community projects, because that way we haven't got to rely on employers wanting to take students in. We can do some community projects. If you have a strong maths pass and not necessarily English, this is when it then gets a little bit difficult because there's a lot of written work, which is why the entry requirements are higher in engineering because of the nature of the courses. But everything is done on an individual basis. So if you've got a really strong maths pass and lots of your other qualifications are really strong, but English is the one you're falling down on, that is when you would then have an extra meeting with one of the tutors to discuss options, and we'll possibly give you kind of like a practice test sheet and things like that, just to gauge how you would get on. Because what we don't want to do is set anybody up onto a course that they may not be able to achieve, because that wouldn't be fair. I hope that helped answer that question, Thomas. So usually in a class we have around about 22 students. It's often a little less in the workshop, but from September, because we're looking at smaller class sizes to remain within the government guidelines for COVID, we are looking at possibly smaller classes. So potentially we may well only have 10 to 12 in a class or in a workshop at any one time, because we'll do a mix of some home learning, some college learning. I'm sure by the time we get to September and college starting, I should imagine, don't quote me on this because obviously it's all in the hands of the government, but I should imagine that train and bus times will be back to normal. We have learners that come from all over the place and they always manage to get in on time. If for any reason you are somewhere that doesn't have as many trains running, for example, as long as you talk to your teacher and say, you know, this is the earliest one I can get, but it still won't get me to college until 9:15. We're not ogres. We will work with all of you. Okay. Well, like we said earlier, the video and the PowerPoint will be available on YouTube if you missed any of it, so you can go back and have a look. If there are no more questions, I will conclude today's Q&A session, but please feel free to email in with any queries that you have and you'll be directed to the right people.